Hello, everyone. My name is Lin Huynh. I am the founder and host of Fan to Fame. We're here today with current EuroLeague professional basketball star and Radford University's great Ed Polite Jr. While at Radford, Ed had a dominant career where he was honored the 2018-2019 Big South Defensive Player of the Year, was a candidate for Lou Henson Award, which identifies the best mid-major player in the country, and recently earned a remarkable recognition as part of the Big South Conference Men's Basketball 2010-2019 All-Decade Team. With that being said, please help me in welcoming Ed Polite Jr. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man.
Hey, I appreciate your time, man. Being a Radford alum, I spent a lot of time working with the team, following the team afterwards, so I'm a big fan of yours, so I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey, jumping into it, man, I know you're born and raised in Prince George's County, Maryland, which definitely grooms a lot of talented and professional athletes. Growing up in the area where you saw a lot of individuals play at that high level, did that play influence in how you got into basketball, or how did your journey begin as a basketball player?
I feel like I got connected to basketball around 4 or 5 years old when my father used to coach I have two older sisters, and he used to coach them. So watching him go to practice with them and work them out, and I was always tagging along and stuff like that. It just the environment, like I found like my love as soon as I was little. So I just stayed with it, and then he became, as I got older, he became my coach, trained me. So it's just, I feel like it's a family thing, like it's always been around.
Right. No, I hear you on that. I think a lot of folks, if they're influenced by their family, their friends, or usually if you're like one of the best athletes at the school, it's expected that you play something. So
Yeah.
I definitely hear you on that. Did you play anything else besides basketball? Just curiosity. Did you play football, track, or something like that?
I was a kid that wanted to try it all. I was just competitive. So I played football up until high school. I stopped my ninth grade because my basketball coach didn't want me to play. And, I played baseball until about 8th grade. I got stopped baseball because I got hit in the head with a baseball.
That ain't no joke.
And this not it. But I wanted to do track, but I never had the time with basketball. So only other than baseball and football, those are the only ones I did other than basketball.
Hey, it's working out well for you. You're definitely doing big things. And talk about your transition from your youth playing sports, playing basketball. You went on to play college Division I basketball at Radford University. Well, what was your factor in making a decision to go to Radford?
I feel like the school being so like family oriented with the coaching staff and the players, it caught my eye. So when I went on my visit and seeing how close everybody was and how much camaraderie it was between the team and everything, it was just like I could fit in here. So I immediately after that visit, I just signed. I was it. It got me.
No, I got you. I was on the same boat, man. I think that's the reason why myself and many people go to Radford. It's not too far from home. It's a D1 college for sports. It has a small community, but at the same time, it's a big college, and there's big schools around like Virginia Tech and stuff. So a lot going on. So I definitely hear about that. While you're at Radford, you had an awesome career, man. You were part of the team that made it to the NCAA tournament. I think it was your junior year when you made it. Can you talk about like that experience of, preparing for that, playing in the games? Because that's a dream that I think any college basketball player wishes, and you actually got the opportunity. So can you kind of share that experience with us?
It was unbelievable. The game going to make it to the tournament was crazy. Carly Jones, that's at Louisville now. He made the buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater, yeah.
It was an unbelievable journey with them guys, and just being able to be in March Madness, something you kids dream of and you watching all the time. Like, so just being around a lot of retired and Hall of Famers that are doing the broadcasting the games and that are announcers, and seeing them walk past you while you getting ready for your game is just crazy. Like the experience, it was unbelievable seeing Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Seen him walk past me before our game, and he was like, "Hey, good luck out there." That was crazy to me. So it was just that experience was something that words can't explain.
No, I hear you, man. It's I was so hyped to watch you guys, and you guys actually accomplished something that no other Radford team ever did, and that's win a game in a tournament.
Yeah.
How was you? Did you guys have that mentality where we're gonna win this, or what was the mindset going into it? Was it kind of like we'll take it game by game, or did you guys think, like, hey, we have this one, it's just on us now? What was that mindset going into?
We were very motivated coming into the game. We knew, like, if we won this game, that's history for Radford first team. So just knowing those things, that really motivated us, and knowing that we definitely can compete with this team, it was just like man, we just got to give it our all. So we could finally play that number one seed in the conference and go at them all we could and try to beat them. So just being motivated for that just really helped us get through that game.
No, absolutely. I think you guys ended up playing against, what was it, Villanova? And
Yeah.
I think they ended up winning it all, I believe, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
It made the loss feel better. It made it feel better.
I was gonna say, and you know what? I feel like we're in good luck because previous time we went to the tournament, and that's when I was there. We played North Carolina, and they ended up winning it all too. So I think whoever plays against us, better for worse, we kind of bring them luck. But you guys definitely showed up though, man. I was so proud of of you guys and just being a highlighter, man. That was awesome just to see that. And I know we have a new group coming in, and hopefully they can kind of continue to reign of what you guys put together.
Yeah, I think they can do it.
No, I hear you. So the following year, I think we were just a hair short of making it to the tournament again, but you guys had a remarkable season. But for you, you just got better and better each year, which I loved watching, man. I watched you when you first came out as a freshman to your final year. I think that following year, again, we're just tad away short of making it to the tournament, but you end up being, Defensive Player of the Year your last year. You were invited to the 3-on-3U National Championship Tournament, which honestly I didn't know anything about until I read into it, and I thought that was awesome. So you got to really represent the Big South Conference and playing with the other athletes and the top-notch players in the league. Can you talk about the experience of during the season, you're playing against these guys who you're supposed to now team up with to play against other conferences? How was that experience coming together after competing all season?
The 3-on-3.
Yeah, the 3-on-3. Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, the guys were great guys. It was when I first was coming into it. I don't really, I guess, really have a relationship with any of them. So having the room with them and being on their team after watching scout about them and competing against them for as many years as I've been at Radford. So
right.
It was crazy. But after I say the first game and just hanging out with them, we all grew like a relationship and still stay in touch now to this day. And I feel like those guys, like the reason they was there was I could really understand why, because they competed, great guys, leaders, communicated off the court and on the court. So I felt like it was a great group of guys to play with.
Yeah, that was cool, man. I think that was like the second time they had that tournament. For those who are not familiar, it's a tournament that's hosted a 3-on-3. So each conference in Division I, Big South and so forth, they have 3 players that's on the court at the same time playing 3-on-3 tournament, and it's going on during the Final Four. So Ed was part of that. And again, it was cool to see all the guys that you're rooting against, and now you're playing with them. So I definitely tip the hats to you guys. You guys represented as well. After that, I know you just kept getting better and better. You had a lot of great things happening. So after graduation, you had a couple NBA draft workouts. You worked out with the Washington Wizards, with the Boston Celtics. How did that all come about? And talk also about how that experience kind of got you ready for Europe and where you're at now. Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? How did it all formulate with each other?
They all my agent you would communicate to them or reach out to them, or they'll reach out to him, and then he would just let me know, like, hey, got to work out at this date. Is this good for you? Can you do it? And I just work out every day until until that day, and then just go out in there and perform. So it was a crazy experience. Getting picked up in by drivers and just like the big Escalades and sitting in the back. It was a crazy experience. Like the hotels in Boston, like put you in a great hotel, you get room service, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was unbelievable. And then going to the workout and working out with a bunch of professionals and being surrounded by so much talent and just all of us giving it all the same, all compete for the same thing. So it was crazy. It was a good experience, something that will always stay with me and help prepare me for Europe, like seeing how and what I need to do in order to be on that level and what's expected from me to play on that level. So it helped me prepare for playing in Italy.
During that workout, did they invite other top-notch athletes that were possibly going to go to the NBA draft as well? Like, who was all invited? Was there like the head coaches there? Were like John Wall, Bradley Beal, were those type of guys there as well?
Then the Boston Celtics workout, I seen Jason Tatum was lifting in the weight room. A couple of us all dapped him up, and a few other guys were like lifting, like coming in gradually while we're working out. And then in the workout, the Boston Celtics won. A bunch of great guys that was also invited to the workout. Shamari Pons, he was there, and a great group of guys. And the head coach, Brad Stevens stepped in for a little bit, but it was mainly the trainers and everybody just working this out. And we all ate lunch together and just spoke to them and different things like that. And then the Wizards won. It was the girls WNBA team that was in there. So seeing them compete, just having that thought, like, man, you think we talking to each other, like, you think y'all
Hey, they ended up winning the WNBA championship, I think, a couple years after that, right?
Yeah.
Or like a year after.
Yeah. So it was it was a great experience.
Are you, being from the DMV area, are you a Washington Wizards fan, or who did you idolize, or what team do you follow?
Actually, my fave team is the Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
are you just doing that because Javonte's there? Or is that your team?
It's a coincidence, because that's really I like them since the Paul Pierce and KG, all them.
The big three, Ray Allen, Rondo, and all them.
That was my team, and then Wu going there, Javonte. It just makes it that much of a better situation. But the Wizards, I always, I had support for them, but only I wanted them to win when they wasn't playing the Celtics. So
I hear you.
Just being from this area. Same with the like Redskins and stuff like that. When they're not playing my team, I want them to win.
100%. Yeah, I'm from Winchester, Virginia, so it's a little further out from the city from where you are, but definitely a DC fan. But it's tough sometimes, man. But that's your team. You got to stick with them all the way.
I adore you.
Well, hey, transitioning to we talked about your upbringing, how you kind of got into sports. You're just around that circle. Going to Radford, you felt like that was a home environment. You got so many accolades from there. Even made it to the NCAA tournament. Then you worked out with the Wizards in Boston, and now you kind of go to Europe. And you even said you like having that time with the Wizards and Celtics kind of got you prepared for it. Can you just share with people like where are you at now? I know right now due to COVID you're at home, but like where were you, and how's that experience playing in Europe?
I was in Biella, Italy, A2 in the Europe League, and it was a very unique experience, the living, coming from America over to foreign land. So it's just getting like acclimated with all the living and food and driving and understanding different, like the language. So it was something that, made basketball that much important. Understanding my how grateful I am to be able to, be in a place like Italy and right next to Milan and do all those things and be able to travel and play different all over through Italy. So it was a very experience that I'm very grateful for. So just coming off of that, like, and all the workouts and stuff, and then getting over there, it made me understand where I wanted to be. So I took basketball a little bit more serious over there, and just made it like my life. Like, come home, next morning, workout, play, workout, play. Wasn't too much other than that. But I feel like the COVID, with COVID coming in, it's paused things with basketball. So that was definitely an experience for this year. This being my first year overseas, when they finished the year out. But for anybody going overseas, like how I did, it's just something that you just gotta, once you go over there, just something to take serious. Just understand how grateful you are to be able to be in that position and just give it your all. That's what teams are looking for. So yeah,
absolutely. I think Europe, I mean, there's a lot of guys from the States that go over there. And from my understanding, each team in Europe, I think other countries as well, they try to keep, the citizens of people that's from there, but they'll bring a couple guys from the States or elsewhere. Did you ever feel like it was tough, kind of like adjusting to the culture and the group? And did it open your welcome arms? And aside from the language barrier, do you think the talent wise, do you think that was a big transition? Or was it pretty much what you expected coming out of Radford?
I say with me having another American teammate who played overseas previously, it really helped me become more comfortable over there. He helped me places, restaurants, different things like that. And with the team I was playing with in Biella, they were very, they were like very welcoming with arms. So all the staff would, take their part in teaching me a new word here and there, like that. So it was cool. And the level of play, I felt like going in, I expected it to be more, but that comes with me just, always being hard on myself, underestimating myself. When I started playing with the guys and playing against the competition, it was like I could really, I could play on this level and higher. So it really, made me more confident. And a lot of guys were very talented, but, just coming from America to Italy, it's a lot more basketball being taken serious over here than it is over. So a lot of guys, I felt like I could definitely compete with on the highest level. So,
got you. You definitely. I mean, people talk about mid majors, but I feel like each and every year, the mid major in college, it just gets better and better. I think a lot of athletes before, you see the big names who want to go there, but nowadays you see teams like what we did. You see with George Mason in the past, Butler. You can make a name out of yourself. You can still make it into a league, and more than likely you get more playing time. So it's definitely, when people think mid-major, hey, it's prime time. And a lot of guys, they do a lot of great things. They go professionally, whether it be here in NBA or in Europe. So I definitely hear you on that. When you, talk about, you said you thought the adjustment was pretty simple for you. You kind of harden yourself, which I don't think that's a bad thing. Rather be prepared for the worst. Did you have to change your game up at all based on how they played, or do you think, how would you say if someone asked you, how has your game changed, if it has, from when you're in college to where you are now in Europe?
I feel like my biggest adjustment was moving from position, from playing at Radford, a smaller school. So I had to play like power forward, and going to Italy and having to play the shooting guard position. It was a big transition, but coming up, I always played like the guard, the big man, like any position you need me on the floor, I was going to play. And I always had a little bit of ball handling with me. So my biggest thing that I wanted to work on was shooting and ball handling. So that's all I worked on, and getting over there and just transitioning from playing and checking big men to running around screens and having the guard coming off a screen. And that was my biggest thing. I feel like I could always, score on offense. I could find a way to post up or dribble or drive, whatever. But my biggest, adjustment was, I say, having to defend a guard the whole game, and just running around screens and guarding off screens and all that stuff. So that was I'd say my biggest adjustment coming into professional.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I know at Radford, you played a little bit of everything. They had you, I think, like at the 3, but at times you're even playing guard at times. There are times you're playing the 5. So, I mean, that's a good thing to be versatile. That's always needed, especially at the professional level. I think NBA or in Europe, everyone kind of plays all positions. So it only helps you out.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, being a defensive player, I mean, you were the Big South defense player for a reason. I think that was your niche, but overall, your game was, is well put together. But if you had to say one person that sticks out, who's the hardest person to defend going through your whole playing career? Just a couple of names or just somebody that pops out.
There's a lot of great guys I've played against. I'll say the hardest player that I had to guard that I can remember would be I'd say Chris Clemons was definitely hard to guard, because sometimes
Chris is a dog.
Yeah. So knowing that he could shoot that Steph Curry range, and he quick, just like, you can't play him too close, but you can't give him too much space. So it was, I'd probably say I'll say he was probably the hardest to guard that I can think of right now.
Even though I didn't play against him, I think just watching, he was one guy that I couldn't be biased and just talk about Radford the whole time. I was like, this guy is unbelievable. I was like, he's actually somebody on the court that literally can, if he wants to score, he's going to score. No one can, you can't, it's like when people say, you can't stop him, but you can try to slow them down. Like, he's someone you can't stop, but you might be able to slow him down just a tad. No, I hear you on that. Yeah, he's an NBA now, so shout out to Chris, representing the Big South as well. So that's great to see. When you think about, you're very young in your career, you've done a lot, and you definitely have plenty of years ahead of you. But when you kind of reflect back in your journey, I'm sure you've probably done that since, COVID being here, everyone kind of has the time to reflect. What's the most memorable experience you'd have to say that pops out? It could be, there's a bunch, so you can maybe name top 2, top 3, but there's some things that come into mind.
I'll say I'll go East level.
Okay.
High school, I'll say my most was getting to states my senior year, and I missed the free throw to put us up by 1 with like seconds left. We ended up going to overtime, and I scored every point. We was up 1 point with like 2 seconds left. They come down, they missed it. I block a shot. The teammate gets it and throws it up. He makes it, and they win states. And if I would have made that free throw in the beginning, that would have been
yeah.
But for me, I was always in high school. I'll say that for that experience, I didn't take my game as seriously as I could have. So I didn't put in as much work as I needed to. So I feel like if I worked on things like free throws and shooting and getting up enough work, the work that I needed to put in high school, I felt like that wouldn't even happen, wouldn't have been a problem. So that's one experience I wish I could have changed,
You can't blame yourself too much, though, man. There's so much stuff that happens throughout the course of a game. I say you can't be harsh on yourself too much, though. I know you're trying to be because you're a good leader and whatnot, and you're hard on yourself, but there's other guys on the team, there's other seconds on the clock, so I hear you on that, but try to help you out, man. Don't get too hard on yourself on that.
Nah, and I'll say from working hard in high school, and then in college, I'll say listening. like me and the head coach Mike Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all like, you know, players that are supposed to be like the leaders or the best, whatever, on their teams. You know, a lot of times they either, you know, they're going to bump heads, just like a father and a son type of,
Right.
so type of thing. So, you know, we bumped heads a lot. So a lot of times I do things my way or little stuff like that. And I felt like in college, if I listened to them or listened to the coaching staff or a better listener and just did whatever they said do, I felt like that would really help me in the long run with my game as well.
Right.
And I feel like those are my biggest things, like work ethic. And in college, I was, you know, lax because, you know, I felt like I was all right. And I felt like I knew the answers and stuff like
Right.
that. And, you know, sometimes just really listening to what my coaches are telling me to do. And,
Right.
you know, if they're wrong, then that's on them, but allowing them it to be on them and not on me type of thing. So those are the biggest two things I feel like I could have, if I could go back, I would change those two things.
I hear you on that. Hey, I think, you know, I feel like with, you know, each age we get, we always think we know something. And then, you know, when you go to Europe, when you go to, you know, your experience working with the Wizards, the Celtics, playing the 3-on-3, I think things like that open your eyes up and say, hey, I might be the top dog at Radford or conference, but there's so many other players out here. So maybe if I listen to the coach, but, you know, I hear you coming from. I think everyone has that mindset. You kind of have to have that mindset if you want to be the best, right? Like, but you got to take and give. But hey, if it wasn't for all that, you wouldn't be where you're at now, and you're still young in career. You have plenty of time. I think what you just shared, just a big platform. What I put together is, you know, what advice would you give for folks that's trying to follow your footsteps? And I think those are great examples right up front that you just shared. So no, that's cool, man. There's definitely a lot of stuff. I mean, when I think about your career, man, I think about you playing your defense, your dunks, the tournament. The one thing that really does stick out to me was that VMI game. We jumped over that guy and literally dunked over him. I literally got off my seat. I was speechless. I'm done.
That was something I always wanted to do. It was just like I seen the opportunity. He took a charge, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta get this one. I gotta get this one.
I was like, you don't have to do that to him, Ed, but I don't blame you.
I didn't even know how to act after I dunked it. I was just like, he called charge. I didn't care. I was just like, oh man, I made it. It was crazy.
No, that was dope. I watched that time to time. That was pretty sick. So you kind of hit on some advice that you kind of would tell yourself if you were to like kind of go back in time. And the reason why I put this together, I think there's a lot of folks that we might know, or just kids that's grown up. They don't have the right support, but they're just raw talent. They don't know how to get to the next level. So having people like you who's been through that process, what advice would you give for a high school student trying to get like a scholarship to play basketball? And then secondly, what advice would you share with someone that's in college about to go pro?
It's just like as rest in peace, Kobe, like that Mamba mentality. I say, sometimes you gotta pass up on the fun things or the things that you look at as desirable, like hanging out or partying and all those things to get to where you want to be in life. So I would say, kids trying to get into a scholarship, like trying to get a scholarship, just, sometimes put down hanging out and playing the game all day or little things like that and go work out, go do some push-ups, work on your game, watch the guys, like not just watch them, but take things from the guys that you watch in the NBA or at the next level or in college and take schoolwork seriously. And those are I'll say the biggest things, like just knowing what you want. So if you want to get there, then work on your game whenever you have the free time, and it'll all pay off at the end, the hard work. And I'll say for kids that's in college trying to go to pro, same advice. And I'll say a lot of times, like I just told you then, listen to your coach and stuff like that. I would say, sometimes your coach wants you to play as a robot or in this specific way. So play your game, but, listen to your coach and take away what he's saying and do what he says. But when you get your chance, do what you want to do so you can show him your way or whatever. But it all correlates. Just if you want to go somewhere, whether it's scholarship or to play pro, it just comes down to how bad you want it, how bad you work for it. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be somebody that's more talented, that's stronger, smarter, better IQ, whatever the case is. But work ethic can top all that. So
100%.
That's how you gotta get to it.
So people, no, I definitely think you hit it on the nail. When you think about like hard work, people talk about that all the time, but everyone defines that differently. When you talk about hard work, what do you do, like mentally, physically? Like, what is your regimen day in and day out? How do you prepare yourself?
I'll say I'll do a more since like right now I'm home. I'll even talk about what I do now. So throughout like the weekdays, I try to, in the morning, start with like yoga, things like that. Right now, like I've never been this sore. I feel like I'm old, but it just comes with how much, like how important my body is. It's the temple. So I just gotta treat it the same way I'm getting ready for basketball, like work on that. So gotta eat better, stretch more, those things. So I'll start off with yoga or stretching. Eat a fruit or some oatmeal in the morning, something that's healthy and that's not going to affect my body in a negative way. And then I'll go. It depends on what time it is. If it's say 11, 12, usually I'll be going to like a pickup game with other guys that I know that's here. And then after that, I'll go lift around about 3 or 4. Go lift. And after that, another guy that I know that's a trainer, he has a gym. I'll either go in there and work out with him, or he hosts the pickup games too with other guys that that's here. So I'll do that. So that's usually how my weekdays go. But the most important thing I'll say that I never thought was important is stretching and eating healthy. Like I've never been through college playing professional. You stretch here and there because you got to stretch for games or you got your trainers. But being on my own, it's like, I'm not stretching. I'm good. And
at least you admit it.
Working hard. Yeah. I was, oh man, I can't walk. I gotta do this and that. So it's just like I was so sore. So I said most important thing is, keeping up with your body and making sure you're healthy and stretching and all those type of things.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I think, each and every year, everyone kind of downplays stretching, but as you get older, you definitely need to do that. And I think something you touched on was doing yoga. That's something I haven't got into, but I definitely want to. But everyone I spoke to, man, they're like, hey, people sleep on it. That's something they stretch muscles out that you didn't know was even there. So I'm glad to hear that you're staying ready constantly, man, because you just never know when the next opportunity is going to come. And when COVID ends, hopefully this all ends very soon. So you got to stay prepared. What is some short-term and long-term goals you have? Like within the next year, what are you hoping to accomplish? And maybe, futuristically, when your career's over, what do you want to look back and say, this is what I did? Like, is the NBA in there or playing another Europe league? What are some things you have in mind?
I feel like, as a kid, everybody's dreams. Oh, I got to go to the NBA. That's my dream, to go to the NBA. So I feel like just playing at the top level, that's more so what I care about. So whether it's NBA or the top level in Europe or wherever it is, that's the biggest thing for me in my basketball career. But I feel like my short-term goal right now, to play next year, I want to, play at the highest level in Europe to prepare myself to, play in the NBA. And long-term goal is the more so take care of my family. So I'll say, to be more specific, like after basketball, I want to be able to, have my own gym in my name type of thing. And, have guys that I know from around the neighborhood or that I know that does training and different things. They could do it through my gym, and something that I could pass down through my family, like children, those type of things. And, you know, that staying connected with basketball. So that's the biggest thing for me. And yeah, that's long term, and short term it's just playing highest level basketball I can.
Talk about, Radford mid-majors going, eventually you want to go professionally too. Maybe NBA would be great. If not, playing at highest level in Europe. Javonte Green, I have his jersey back here. He's done all that, right? He played at the highest level in Europe. He kind of put his dues in, which got him to where he's at now in the NBA. What advice or what are things he's pretty much shared with you to kind of, help you get to that next level?
We've talked about, little things about game, but I feel like the biggest thing, like, is all, just staying focused, staying ready. Just like, like you never know. Like he did 4 years.
Yeah.
Some guys do 1 year, some do 2, some do 8.
Yeah.
So it's always about just staying ready, just always coming out in each day, just going your hardest that you can. So, and he did the training camps. He's talking to me about the training camps he did when he came back and did summer league with the different teams after each year. So it's just like, the teams are looking for guys who's played against the best level of competition in their league. So me being an A2, they'll be interested, but they're going to look for the guy that's in A1, or the guys in A1, they're going to look for the guys in EuroLeague, or little things that they always look for, the guy who's supposedly playing the best competition and can defend the best guys at that best level, or can score at the highest level type of thing. So that's why, like, for college, it's a lot of, like, people do the mid-major and high major, all those type of things. So it's similar like that overseas. It's based on that scale. Like, guys can be at Duke or Kentucky and average 10, 12 points and go to the NBA. And you see mid-major average 25, 30, and won't get a look. So it's all about, being seen and playing at that highest level. So that's basically it. That's why I said, like, short term, grind, playing at the highest level I can, so I can eventually be NBA or play in the highest level over in the States. So
to be the best, you got to play against the best, and I think that's good advice. And yeah, you're definitely on it. Well, hey man, you've been again, I'm a fan of yours. I've been following Radford ever since I left. I'm glad you guys took it to the next level. You guys literally put like the bar really high up for Radford basketball. So you guys are doing well so far. I look forward to watching them, and I look forward to watching you in your career. And I wish you the best of luck. Is there anything you want to maybe pass along before we sign off?
Just staying ready. Stay ready. Right now, COVID is affecting a lot of people negatively, some positively, but the storm always will pass. So right now, COVID has some guys sitting home or not playing or not working out, or some guys getting chubby and all that stuff, having excuse COVID. But, you just got to understand, and you just got to keep grinding as if COVID, I won't say as if it's not here, but just don't let it stop you from getting to your goals.
Absolutely.
Just a storm, but it will pass. So just stay ready, always focus and locking in on what you want.